Hey guys, it's Abby and today I'm going to be doing a book review. In the Darkest Part of the Forest. Well, The Darkest Part of the Forest by Holly Black. And this is what it looks like without its cover. And it looks really plain. So, I like this a whole lot more. Basically, this book is about like fairies and magic and spells being broken and curses. First of all, I'm taking the cover off because this sounds annoying me. So the main character of this book, her name is Hazel, and she has a brother named Benjamin, which everyone calls him Ben. Since this is the non-spoiler section, I'm just gonna give you the gist of the story. Basically, there's this fairy side and this human side, and they live in a town with fairies. And the fairies are all living in the woods. Benjamin has his best friend, who is also a fairy, but on the human side, I guess. So, basically, the beginning of this book, it's kind of, if you don't like fantasy or fiction or anything like that, it's kind of hard to get into the book, but I thought it was fairly easy to get into this book, and you should go check it out. It's The Darkest Part of the Forest by Holly Black. And that is all I'm going to say. And if you have not read the book, peace. Right now, if you are still watching this video, you should have read this book by now. So first we have Hazel. And I like this character. I like this character a lot. I mean, she's a strong person. She wants to be a knight. Like, I've never met anyone who wants to be a knight before. Insert picture of person who's probably going to turn out a girl who's a knight. Anyway, her brother Ben, I kind of got really mad at him when he slammed his fingers in the door. Like, why would you do that? Who in their right mind would do that? Especially if their sibling is right there. Like, I like Jack and Hazel. At first, I thought she was going to go with Soon. I can't say his name properly, and people are probably going to comment, that's not how you say his name, but that's how I say it, Soon something, I can't pronounce it properly. I am really happy Jack and Hazel are together. I was actually surprised when Ben went with him and decided to stay with him at the end. I'm like, Like, I thought he would have stayed in school at least with his sister until he graduated, because then that would have made a bit more sense. I did not at all expect there to be a day Hazel and a night Hazel. Like, that just kind of confused me. Like, wouldn't you remember that? Like, she's having these dreams. And I thought she was going to realize right away when she had the dream and he mentioned it, that she was going to go right away, oh yeah, I remember that. But she didn't do that. This whole aspect of him being in a coffin in the middle of Fairfold Woods and having being cursed, and he can, we find out later in the book that he can hear everything that's going on. But I find it weird how his father put him in the middle where everyone can see him. I don't know if he thought, look at this, if you do something bad, you're going to end up like my son or something. But that just kind of confused me, this lighting situation, though. When they went down to, see the king, when Hazel went down with Jack to see the king, and the fairy put wine in her mouth and then kissed Hazel, I just knew right away Hazel drank fairy wine, because in every book I've ever read, fairy wine you do not want to drink. All in all, I would recommend this book to, not anyone who walked by, but if someone asked me for a really good fantasy book or fiction book, I would have recommended this, because it has the aspect of a girl, being super, in all the other fairy tale books I've read, fantasy books I've read, the girl is a human and doesn't try and do anything, so, she ends up having a power of her own or something, and Hazel does not. Hazel's just a badass person. So, I would recommend this book to anyone else. Who asked me for a book read. That's a good read. I'd also like to say I'm currently reading A Court of Thorn and Roses. I've seen this on so many booktubers channels. I'm I have to read this, so I have this and I'm now reading it. I'm not even 50 pages away from the end, and as soon as I finish this, I read this book, and this book is the same kind of feeling to it. It's about fairies and humans in the same kind of world, so I was able to get into this book right away. So if you finish The Darkest Part in the Forest and want to get into another kind of feeling book and not have to go through halfway through the book until you kind of get in the feel of the story, go for A Thorn and Roses, because this book so far, like, I've read almost all of it. Like, I have this much left to read, and I'm loving this. And I really kind of don't want it to end, but I want it to end because I have the next book of The Immortal Rules waiting just to be read over my shelf. So yeah, you might want to read this because it had the same feel, and I even told my mom as soon as I read this is like the same kind of book as The Darkest Part of the Forest. So this is really easy to get into. I probably said that like 5 times now, but it is. That is all for this BookTube video, I guess. I don't know. I've only done like one of these. If you guys like that, like and subscribe down below. Comment if you want to see kind of more of these, because I will gladly do that because I am obsessed with reading. Ask anyone, ask Brady, ask Jane, Danglewood 1 or Werewolf, and they will tell you I am obsessed with reading. This lighting, it just, And other than that, bye!